Hey friends, welcome if you're new and welcome back if you've been here before. I make videos about planning, about time management, particularly for those who might be time challenged. Maybe you have ADHD like me and are working really hard to put routines and systems in place so that you can manage your life effectively. So come join me this week while we plan, review the week, and plan for next week. Grab a cozy cup of your favorite beverage, tea, coffee, whatever you like, and let's plan next week together. Hello, planner friends. Welcome and happy Sunday. Thank you so much for joining me. Let's go ahead and review this week and plan for the next week. I'm getting back into the routine of doing regular planning sessions, and I want to make it a little bit more systematic. So I've written down like the 3 key things that I want to do each week, and I'm putting it in the Routinary app. And I'm going to use this app to kind of remind me in what sequence I want to do. And right now I know it's only 3 things, but as I build out the routine, there might be more things I want to do, but it's just something that will this app helps keep me on tasks. So I'm just going to try to essentially create this checklist in here. And what's nice is that it has a timer component. So the 3 key things that I want to do are review the previous week's daily tasks, reconcile the week and the month. Like if anything was canceled, I want to make sure that I put my weekly workouts on my monthly view, and then complete the weekly review for this upcoming week. So those are the 3 must do's. And then as I continue to do this week to week, if there's anything else that I want to add, I would add it to this. But today I'm just going to hit play and we're going to run through it together. So we'll keep it nice and simple. I'm going to hit play. And the first thing, and what I love about this app is it has this little context note that you can leave yourself to remind you of the key things you want to do. So in this part, I want to review my daily tasks. And when I'm doing that, I want to be thinking if there was anything left that I didn't get to, do I move it into the next week? Is it something that I can probably just delete? Is it no longer needed? Or can I delegate it to someone else, like my husband or someone else in my family or a business associate if needed, whomever else. So those are the 3 things that I want to keep in mind while doing this. So let's go ahead and review the daily tasks from this past week. So starting with Monday, it looks like we did everything we aimed to do on Monday. For Tuesday, it looks like, in case you're new here, I use the arrows to indicate this thing didn't get done. So I've already considered moving it to the next day. So that's already been completed. What I'm looking for is anything that is unhighlighted that doesn't have an arrow next to it indicating it was truly forgotten. I've gotten much better at this, so there probably aren't many. You can see these aren't highlighted, but they were moved to the next day. And that's it. Saturday and Sunday I didn't really fill out, so we can do that as well and kind of backfill those. Now let's look at the weekly review. So this week I looked at this at the end of my Friday and I realized nothing I really intended to do got completely completed. There were some tasks that were almost done, but they weren't completed enough to where I felt like I could highlight them off. So I'm going to leave those for now. Those have all gotten moved, and this I actually did complete, which was sending a card to my aunt for her birthday. All right, cool. So those things, we went through that. So we reviewed the weekly tasks. So next up is to reconcile the week and the month. So let's go ahead and see what actually happened this week. So I'm mainly concerned with the week view. On a day-to-day basis, if something didn't happen, I usually just put a little X next to it. I don't have any examples here, but there was a baseball game here for my nephew, or this morning, which I didn't write in, but it didn't happen anyways. But if it was on here, but it didn't happen, I would just put a little X next to it. All right, so going here, this occurred, this did not, and that happened. So all good there. And then the other thing that I want to do is reconcile my exercises, essentially making sure that those get added to the month. So one thing that I'm doing here is I essentially want to account for the 6 key values I'm working on and the tasks that ladder up to those different things or that support those different areas of my life. So for health and wellness, the key for me is focusing on regular exercise. And as you can see, I'm super proud. I worked out all 5 weekdays this week. And my key thing is like, my goal for the month was only 3 to 4 workouts, but I was actually able to get 5 done. And like most impressively for me is that they were done in the morning. And I have historically not been a morning person. So this feels like an absolutely huge victory. And they were all fairly early morning workouts too. So that's been super exciting. So I get to pretty much write workout every single day of the week. Now, I probably am going to come up with a prettier way to do this because I'm not loving how it looks on the calendar. But we're just going to write it in like this for now. Like maybe I'll get a cute little, ooh, and writing near the coil is always difficult. But like maybe I'll get a cute stamp. All right, and then I'm going to use my highlighter. And the point of highlighting it is to quickly see at a glance the things that got completed that support my values for the month. And this helps me understand where I'm investing my time. Am I under investing my time in some area where I actually want to be spending my time? So it's been super helpful. Yeah, last week I put it up here. This week I'm putting it down here. I'm still trying to feel it out and see where I like it best. But I'm thinking I might even do like write it up in the corner or have some like workout symbol. I like stamps because they're more cost effective. Like one stamp pad lasts like literally years. And you can reuse it countless times. And I like stickers, but not for things I do super frequently because I don't know, they're just less cost effective. But if I found a super cute stamp, I'd definitely consider it. All right, so I've reconciled that. So the workouts are here. This game didn't happen. And same thing, I'm just gonna put a little X here, indicating it was canceled. And yeah, still good so far. So now both the week and the month match. And let's move on to the next thing. So we're gonna check this off. And this took a little bit longer. What I really like about this app is when you're first setting it up, you essentially put in how long you think something will take. And then after a few reps or like after a few times of doing it, you get a really good sense of how long things actually take you. So next time I might want to add more time, or I'll adjust the schedule to account for more time for this part. All right, so now we're going to complete the weekly review, and I'm going to check for upcoming events, both in my Google Calendar and my Hearth calendar. So let's do that now. So let's go ahead and remove this and jump on over to next week. All right, we're going to focus on the week. So I wrote strength training up here because I really want to focus on doing strength training workouts. Like if I do other types of exercise, like if I go for a bike ride or a walk, that's great too. But I kind of consider that more like foundational movement that should be occurring anyways. Like I really want to only give myself credit for workouts if it's an actual strength training workout. So that's that. I'm so excited. Spreaded Planner is going to do their collection reveal on Tuesday, and then I believe it's next week when you can actually order on the 23rd. But I'm really, really excited about this. So that's already on my calendar. Put a little heart next to it. All right, and I'm gonna open up Google Calendar and just check to see any big key things I have going on. I have this calligraphy class here, but I don't actually have it on my Google Calendar, which surprises me because usually I have everything on Google Calendar, like that is my source of truth. And I'm not writing in every meeting I'm going to have in this weekly view. This is just like the highlights, maybe the unusual or out of routine things that might happen. So if I have like regular meetings and all that stuff, that would go in my daily. This is more so for like special events. Like we're going to a calligraphy class, the Spreaded Planner reveal, things like that, game night with our friends. Like that's not something that happens every week for us. So that's something I want to highlight. And again, I get to use this adorable game night stickers here. Very good. So let's look. Nothing remarkable is happening at work this week, just like regular work stuff. Let me pull up my Hearth calendar. Oh, so on Sunday, I signed my daughter and I up for this like paint pouring class. It's like a fall themed one. So let me get that in there. So that's adorable. Let me see if I have any cute stickers I can put there. Just gonna use one of these. So I don't use a ton of embellishments like I've said before, but I like a little something every now and then. I think that's cute. Maybe. Yeah. That'll do. All right, so we have the paint pouring class, game night with the Hughes. Zach is going to be in Tampa this day. And then I think that's it. So this, let me find out where this is. I think it's nearby.
Complete weekly review is over. Finish the routine.
All right, very good. So that's pretty much it. I already have my workouts up here as a like my workout stamp up there, so I can track this week's workouts, special events. I'm so excited. We have like 2 artsy things that we're doing. And then let me just make sure that matches the month. So I have game night on here, but I don't have the paint pouring class. So let me just add that real quick. And that is something that I'm going to put under creativity and hobbies because we're learning a new painting skill and it's something fun and cutesy. So we're going to add that right here. And again, these colors correspond to the various domains of my life that I want to focus on and essentially like make sure that I'm doing something every week, every month. Well, maybe not every week, but I'm doing stuff on a regular basis, at least on a monthly basis, to support these 4 things or these 6 areas of life. Oh, and the city commission meeting is 7 p.m. on Monday. So that I did not have on my calendar. So and that's not on Google Calendar either. So we need to get this on there because otherwise, if it's not on any of these spaces, it's not going to happen. So let's write it down on Monday. City Commission meeting, 7 p.m. Awesome. Perfect. So that's all of the things that I would do each week. Now, the only other thing that I would do that's part of kind of like my everyday nightly routine is review the following week. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that now, or the following day. So we've already checked the events. We've done the essentially filled in the weekly review and checked for upcoming events. So that's done. But let me see if I can add. Yes, I'm going to add a task to add appointments and meetings for following day. Awesome. So I've added that in. So once I hit this, all right, now we're going to add the appointments and meetings for the following day. So that would be Monday in this case. All right. So I've got a meeting at 11. All right, and that's it. So I'm gonna add my signature little hearts next to everything. And the hearts aren't just cutesy. I actually use them to like easily look at how many things there are, like how many meetings. For example, when meetings are like this, like back to back, instead of my brain just looking at this as like one thing, when I put the little hearts next to it, it reminds me that it's like two separate things. So it's adorable and functional. All right, so we've got the key tasks for tomorrow. As far as the weekly like work related things, there was quite a few stuff I didn't get to last week that I need to work on this week. But I do have, I know this is a lot of planning, but I have a separate like time set aside for capacity planning, which is where I plan like my week, my work week. And that I do on the computer because I do it in an app called Sansama. Sansama is an incredible tool. That is where I really house the majority of like my work tasks and what I need to reconcile. What I will write in my planner when it comes to work is what are like the top three, like the big three things that I need to get done. Like where does my focus really need to be that day? Because I'm sure, as anybody knows, it's very easy for your focus to be diverted, especially when the days get really hectic. So that's what I like to use my planner for work related things, but the majority of like the nitty gritty, like the details and all of that, that lives in Sansama. So yeah, so I say all of that to say I'm not going to spend time in this video, but I will probably film that if that's interesting. So yeah, so that's it for this week. And before I wrap up, I'm just going to spend a little bit of time filling in this Saturday and Sunday that just passed, and feel free to join me for the last couple of minutes. Oh, and before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and hit complete. So this whole task, this whole routine, how long did it take us? Let's see here. What I like about this app is that it has stats. So it actually took us about 17 minutes to do this weekly planning routine. Not too bad. All right, friends, that is it for this week. I hope you all have a lovely week ahead and happy planning. See ya. Bye.